Sebiega from Filmstro here with a really quick video, just striping the Frozen trailer with a different piece of music that we love and think kind of adds something to this as well, just in celebration of the upcoming release of Frozen 2, which of course a lot of you are looking forward to, so are we. And yeah, just going to play this through and then just talk about a couple of considerations we did here for laying on some music for this kind of trailer. It's only a snippet of the trailer, and we've done the sound effects ourselves just to obviously be able to replace the music. So if you want to see how we created sound effects and interested to see the workflow for that, just click the link and enjoy. This piece is Viking, one of our favorites, and there's a free mix in the description. Cheers. So as you can hear, it's obviously a continuous piece of music which differs from the original trailer where several things were kind of chopped together. And we've gone for a very kind of emotive feel throughout rather than a massive build-up with these kind of cliffhanger, typical trailer-esque things. But yeah, in terms of the momentum, clearly there was just some very ambient piano stuff to start with, and then we brought in some momentum changes as she makes up her mind to kind of tackle whatever challenge she's got ahead. And then, of course, the power also comes in just to underline the intensity, and the depth just starts really thickening things out when we get to the first kind of strong musical beat here, which then really gives us a kind of full-bodied, very resolute sound. As she's climbing up here, it kind of goes to a crescendo, so as we might expect, the power reaches its zenith. And then when we're in this underwater sequence, we just back off the momentum towards the end, just to kind of give it a slightly more natural outro musically. But as I say, this is just a clip, and this would, of course, normally continue. One thing that's cool with Filmstro is that you could now swap out this music for another track as well and just see if that worked for your edit. So, for example, if we wanted to go for something even more emotive, for example, there's one I laid on earlier. Now, what I'm not doing is changing the momentum, depth and power, and let's see if that actually works at all. It sometimes does very, very well if the BPM, which you can see here, is the same, and other times it's more potluck, but very, very interesting effect actually. So I'm just going to try this out just for effect and see what you think. So quite an interesting effect actually, and what I find endlessly interesting about this, and something we're quite evangelical about at Filmstro, I guess, is that the momentum, depth and power are ultimately more important. What you do with this in a sensitive way, in terms of what your picture's doing, will translate in terms of the emotional content of the music to your audience, more so than if you keep obsessing about BPM and where to sync your strong beats and stuff. That clearly is also important, and for some of the trailer stuff it's more about the endings. It's about, you know, having these kind of cliffhanger, kind of open-ended sounds, or lack of sound, should I say, when things are unresolved visually. But in general, just a kind of general note about, you know, music to picture, if you can hook up the intensity, the body, and the kind of complexity, i.e. momentum, depth and power, to your picture, that's going to ultimately stand you in better stead than just focusing on BPM in terms of what the audience kind of perceives and how you take them on that journey. Anyway, hope this has been useful. As I say, free link to Viking in the description. And if you want to find out more about how we created the sound effects, then check out the other video. Cheers.